Hi, Utah County Sheriff Mike Smith here to talk to you today. We've been going over the different divisions in our Sheriff's Office, and today we're going to focus on our Enforcement Division. This is the last division that we're going to talk about in these series and our 2020 stats that we're going to go over. So one thing I wanted to start with is what we do as a Sheriff's Office with our Enforcement Division. When people talk about the unincorporated areas of Utah County, we think about some fields, we think about, well, what really happens out there. But I really want to have you expand your vision, especially going through 2020 and what we saw happen. And this was really nothing new, but we did see it spike quite a bit. And what we saw is in the recreational areas of Utah County, we saw a huge increase of people going up into those areas. Well, those areas are the responsibility of the Sheriff's Office to provide public safety to you while you're up there recreating. And just to give you a little perspective, it's easy for me to say that there are millions of visitors that go into that area. And someone might say, well, no, that's not true. There couldn't be millions. Well, let me put it in perspective for you. In just one canyon in Utah County, we'll take American Fork Canyon. It's not even the largest canyon. They have a toll booth there. Well, what goes through that toll booth? We're seeing, well, in 2020, we're seeing around 3 million go through that area. And that number doesn't include those that came up after hours or when that toll booth wasn't open to get those counts. So that may give you a little bit of perspective of just in one of those areas, how many people we're seeing, which gives us a lot of work to do. There's 2,142 square miles in Utah County, and a lot of that area is unincorporated and is what we would call recreation camp areas and things that we're responsible for. In our Enforcement Division, the easiest way to think of this really is to think of it as any police department. If a police department has that, our Enforcement Division is going to have the same thing with your patrol that you see the deputies out in marked cars. You're going to have the detectives that are following up on cases, and then on top of that, one important piece we have is we have a special victims unit, an SVU unit, that we focus on crimes, sex crimes and crimes against children. So last year in 2020, we had over 50,000 calls for service that our deputies responded to. Now, when you're thinking of that, I skipped over something I want to throw into that number is we also have contract cities. So we work for several cities around this county that contract with us or pay us to do their police work. So those cities, I want to make clear these numbers account for those cities as well. So over 50,000 calls for service that we responded to. There were over 8,000 traffic stops that we made, and there were 286 DUI drivers that we arrested and took off the streets in 2020. Along with that work, there were 76,000 doses of heroin that the Sheriff's Office took off the streets and took out of circulation, along with 120,000 doses of methamphetamine. There were many other drugs that we took, and there were many other things that we did. Along with this, we are going to add in like with everything, a sheet that has all those numbers. I don't want to bore you to death with numbers, but if you're interested, it will be there, and we're going to put that out to you in a press release to go over all of those numbers. I want to tell you, 2021's here. We're in it. I think this year we're going to still see those spikes up in our recreation areas, and honestly, I encourage it. Go up with your family and have a good time, and I want you to know that our patrol division will be there for you. We will be there to keep you safe, to do what we need to. Don't be afraid to reach out and say hi to them. That's a good thing. They like that. Thank you for allowing us to be here, to be your Sheriff's Office, and to work for you. And our goal is to do exactly that, to work for you and to keep you safe, and have a safe 2021.